Hey, all you horror maniacs, welcome back to another episode of what we call A Little Off the Top. And today I'm going to keep it kind of simple because we got some other things we want to cover. I got a pretty simple question though, because I know it changes from week to week or even day to day. But in the comments below, just put in what's your favorite horror movie of all time. I know for me it kind of changes back and forth. I lean towards the original Evil Dead quite a bit. Surprise, surprise. But it changes. But yeah, I'm just interested to see where everybody's at. What's your favorite movie? What's the one that you never get tired of when you watch? I think that's a lot of fun to figure out kind of what turns your crank. So yeah, if you will, just drop those in the comments. If you haven't checked out any of the other videos that I've got, make sure you go check those out as well. And subscribe. Stick around. I like to have you around. But what I really want to get to today is I kind of threw something out in the Facebook group about, hey, if you got any questions, give me some questions. I'll answer them. So this segment is a little something I want to call Pen Pals from Around the World. That's right. Pen Pals from Around the World, where I answer your questions. So starting off, I've got one from my good buddy Billy Stewart from Scary Dad. So Billy asked, what's one horror movie people would be surprised you haven't seen? I've never watched any of the Leprechaun movies. I just can't do it, man. I mean, it's that mad dash to try to find an evil persona or a killer for each stinking holiday that we have. We got so low that we hit St. Patrick's Day. Just couldn't do it, man. I mean, I like some stupid stuff, but I don't know. I draw a line somewhere. Sorry, Warwick Davis. I love you, but I just can't do them, man. Can't do them. I've never made it through one. My buddy Jason Dennison asked, what movie scared you the most in a movie theater? Well, I think this qualifies. When I was 7 years old in a local school here, I'm from a very small town, but there was a guy that went around and was showing this documentary. And I remember bringing the slip of paper home to give to my parents to come see this documentary about some stuff that happened out in the woods. And we went to see it. Gymnasium was ram-packed full of people to see this video. That's, again, supposedly a documentary. And it terrified everybody there. It's that thing of passing it off as being real. And it just floored everybody. So, lo and behold, as we found out later on, that movie was Legend of Boggy Creek. So you can imagine the setup for that. Telling everybody that it's real. Giving kids a slip of paper to take home to give to your parents to come see this documentary that supposedly you think maybe the guy that's there actually shot it or whatever. And yeah, just the fact of it being passed off as real was more terrifying than really what you saw on the screen. So what happened was the distribution company didn't really, or I don't think they even had a distribution company. So they just basically went from town to town, school to school, promoting it as a documentary. And that's how I got to see it. And I've never experienced anything else like that because, again, well, I'll take that back. The same marketing on that was the same thing they used for Blair Witch. That's kind of where they got the idea as far as how they promoted it. Remember all the missing posters and all that stuff. And I have to say, when I went and seen Blair Witch, it worked its magic on me. I know a lot of people don't like it. It didn't scare them. But, again, it's all about what's in here. They couldn't put anything on the screen that was scarier than what I was already putting together in my head. So it's the imagination of it that freaked me out. I freak myself out all the time. It's way scarier than anything I'm going to see on a movie screen. So there you go. Legend of Boggy Creek is going to be my number one for that. Oh, my buddy, you may recognize this name. My buddy R.J. McCready asked, if you had the choice to be a protagonist in a horror movie, which famous character would you like to be? I wonder which one R.J. wants to be. But anyways, man, I mean, what can I say? I'm an Ash fan. I'd love to be Ash. But there's also a part of me that want to be Reggie from Phantasm. I mean, a man that drives around in an ice cream truck, killing Jawas, playing music in a band. Yeah, that's me. But I so love a movie called Phantom of the Paradise, where Winslow Leach, or the Phantom, however you want to look at it, I think I recognize more with him than anything else. Even though he's not really a good guy, he's fighting the ultimate evil in the 70s. Paul Williams. Yeah, that's got me written all over it too. Matthew Tangent, my buddy Matt the Angry Ginger. asked the question of, in the same line of thinking of Abraham Lincoln versus vampires or zombies, what historical figure would you like to see do battle in a horror film, and against what? All right, here's one for you. How about Winston Churchill, Elvis, and Gandhi fighting zombie dinosaurs? Why not? Stephen White, another buddy of mine, asked, if you could remake any horror film, what would it be and why? Oh man, that's an easy one. The 1974 Bob Clark film called Death Dream. Everybody always talks about Black Christmas. Totally understandable. It's a classic. It was a trendsetter. But Death Dream absolutely destroyed me when I saw it. It just completely just broke me. And it's probably the most heart-wrenching horror movie I've ever seen. And it really gets no respect at all. I guess because budget-wise, it didn't have a lot to go on. Maybe just the time period it came out. Plus of the subject matter that's in it was not necessarily considered horror to a degree. But looking back on it, and you think of it from a family standpoint, this thing just floored me. It's basically a little retelling of A Monkey's Paw, but set during the Vietnam era. And you know, we always hear the saying of, once a soldier comes home, he's never the same person again. That's totally what this movie is about. Not only what it does to the soldier and the person that's gone out and laid their lives down for the country, the person they come back to, but also what it does to that family as well. It's so powerful. That's one, if you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. It's incredible. It needs a facelift. I think it could really impact now. Another podcastic, Derek Bouget, I think I'm saying that right. Derek asked, what do you think is an essential supernatural horror film that you feel needs more love? Easy one. The Changeling. To me, everything that's kind of came after The Changeling is just a retelling of The Changeling. It's my favorite supernatural film. George C. Scott is just phenomenal in the movie. Such a well-made movie. The house is just full of dread. And like I said, I really feel like this was the springboard for all of these movies that we had later on. A lot of the ghost revenge movies and all this kind of stuff really kind of pulls from the idea of this. Super creepy, atmospheric. It's fantastic. Really, this movie has been bent over in Vaseline by all these other movies that's come out, because this one really did it first. So you can kind of tell just from these last two questions the kind of movies that affect me. It's more about the dread more than the gore or the jump scares or anything like that. These are about movies that impact your mind, things that stay with you, that you constantly think about. Not only is it a telling and it stays with you, but you think about the predicament that these people are in, that they're going through, the torture that they're going through. And sometimes just getting whacked by a machete is the easy way out. It's over. What really horrifies me is the fact of living through a life-changing tragedy and still having to live on. That's the real horror in life. So these are the movies that kind of stick with me more than the slasher flicks, because you deal with these things as a person. I doubt we really run around and worry about a guy with a hockey mask chasing us with a machete a lot, right? Just saying. It's good entertainment. I love those too. But the stuff that really bothers me is more realistic stuff that people go through on a day-to-day basis. That's why we have these movies. That's why we celebrate these over-the-top gore fest and slasher flicks, because it helps us deal with what we really deal with in life. So, with that being said, not to be a downer, but enjoy what you got. Have a good time. Till then, we'll see you next time. Check you later.